Hi guys, could we finally be at a turning point in the war in Ukraine? So according to the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Ukraine has agreed to a ceasefire plan which would result in an end to the fighting for a period of 30 days. This follows meetings the Ukrainians had with the US government on Tuesday. At the same time, intelligence sharing, which had been paused, is being switched back on by the Americans. And allegedly, Zelensky had sent a letter of apology to Donald Trump saying sorry for what happened at the Oval Office when the two met recently. At the time of recording this, we've yet to hear Russia's response. So are we finally stepping closer to something of a peace agreement?
Ending this war once and for all. Today we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable and accounts for their interests, their security, their ability to prosper as a nation. I want to personally thank, we both want to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Majesty, for hosting us, for making this possible. They've been instrumental in this process, and we're very grateful to them for hosting us here today. And hopefully we'll take this offer now to the Russians. And we hope that they'll say yes, to peace. The ball is now in their court. And but again, the president's objective here is, number one, above everything else, he wants the war to end. And I think today Ukraine has taken a concrete step in that regard. We hope the Russians will reciprocate.
Yes, we hope they do. Now, how did we get to this stage? Well, it seems to be the case that Zelensky sent a letter to Donald Trump, pandering to the man-child. He was probably advised to do so by people within his administration, of course, but maybe even Keir Starmer. When he met with Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister's advice was, treat him like a child. Treat him like a spoilt child having a tantrum. And this is probably what he decided to do. Eat some humble pie. He thought about his country more than his own reputation and decided, look, I'll send a letter to Donald Trump. We also saw recently how the envoy to Ukraine, Kellogg, a former general, talked about how Ukraine had to be beaten with a 2x4 in a metaphorical sense in order to come to the negotiating table. And one aspect of that was to remove intelligence sharing, which more than likely cost Ukrainian lives. Not being able to access intelligence that the US had on troop movements from Russia obviously would have cost Ukraine dearly, and this is probably one of the ways that the Americans convinced them. Now, this is going to send some alarm bells, I imagine, through Europe and maybe Canada as well. The United States is supposed to be an ally, but when it wants to get its way, it's going to act pretty tough with allies. So this is something to be concerned about. But it seems Ukraine is at the negotiating table. Senior members of the Ukrainian government have come out following this and said that they're very happy about the developments here. They support this endeavor. So this is, on the surface at least, is positive news. And it's only a 30-day ceasefire. We hope that it's going to last. We hope that it can be built upon for the sake of the people who are suffering at the moment. Now, of course, the ball now is in Russia's court. What is Putin going to do? And if he responds by rejecting this, then what is the United States going to do? Because one thing is to ask Putin to respond and ask for him to support a peace deal or a ceasefire. Another is, what is the United States' response to this if Russia says no? Or if Russia does not respect the ceasefire? Because this is also a problem. Putin may say, yes, I agree to a ceasefire, and then doesn't respect it. Then who's going to maintain this ceasefire? We're yet to hear any details. So one thing is to have a peace deal, one thing is to have a ceasefire, another thing is to maintain that ceasefire and to punish those who break it. So while this is a positive step, there's still a long way to go. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.